So good morning, Allie. How are you?
I'm doing pretty fine, Lindsay. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm so glad that you could join us this morning.
I appreciate you having me.
Yep, we're all crystalled out. We were commenting that
Yep.
we have our crystals on. We have our cat in the sunshine. So it's
Yes.
obviously the perfect time to get together and to talk. I'm excited to introduce you to our Full Circle Wellness Tools tribe. You have a very unique background and you have a lot to share. And I think I'm particularly drawn to your work because you have a blend not only of an academic background, you just received your master's, but also you're very energetically minded and you're bringing those two together, and that's really exciting. So I know we talked that you are a holistic sex coach, you are
Mm-hmm.
an energy specialist, and you're also a kick-ass intuitive, which I know
Yes.
our tribe will really appreciate. And that using those tools, you help use what would you say, positive magnetic energy to help people live their best lives. And
Yes.
so I'd love to hear a little bit about what that means and about you and your business. And I'll be sure to link to your website, alliethiess.com, at the bottom, but I'd love to just hear a little bit more about you.
Well, how I got into doing this is I got divorced,
Uh-huh.
and I got divorced in 2007, and I was thrown to the wolves, so to speak. It's either sink or swim. I was out of the job market for a long time, raising our son.
Sure.
And I did readings part-time for people, helping them here and there. And everyone kept saying, you really need to do this full-time. I'm like, no, I don't really want to. I've got my son and whatnot. And then the bottom fell out, and here I was all alone with the
Right.
house and the kid and all the animals.
Right.
And I was like, well, I either swim or I sink and move home with my mother. And I was 40 at the time because this all happened on my 40th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So I decided, well, I need to swim and swim fast. So I jumped into school to get all my academic background, my bachelor's and master's. I've been going nonstop for school, as well as my sex coaching certificate. So I do have the academic background. And on the way, I was building up my intuitive readings, helping more people, connecting to them. That's how I do that. A lot of intuitives use cards.
Sure.
I connect energy to energy.
Okay.
And read people,
Sure.
step into the energy, find out what's going on. And when I step into someone's energy, I can find out where they're lacking, defunct.
Yeah.
If they have a lot of headaches,
Yeah.
I can usually tell by stepping in and seeing some brown or black up here by their head.
Yeah.
But I did that for quite some time, and once I got certified in sex coaching,
We're going to ignore the phone.
pardon?
We're
Oh,
going to ignore the phone.
oh, don't you worry. um, I got certified in sex coaching, and since I had been dealing with energy, and a couple of my number one questions I always got from people before they even knew I was getting certified as a sex coach was relationship and sex questions. People have always felt very comfortable to me talking about sex. So I took my energy practice, which I'm very good at working with energy, and I developed out-of-body ecstasy, which is the personal energy method using dreams, astral travel, or telepathy to enhance someone's sex life.
Yes.
And being able to enhance someone's sex life and seeing into them and what they're doing and what they're not doing
Right.
other than sex, I'm able to point them in the right direction
Yep.
so that they can live that blissful life. A lot of people come to me and they say, well, there's something missing. They never know what it is.
Right.
They wouldn't find me. And I'm able to pinpoint what it is. And between the two of us, we always we formulate a plan together. And they're able to take that plan, put it into action that day, and start living their blissful life. So I love what I do.
I
I
bet. What
do.
kind of transformations do you see people making when they begin to open up to this?
Man, when they come to me, people are usually shut down.
Yeah.
And it's more women than men that come to see me. They're shut down, they're depressed, they're unhappy. To the outside world, they should be happy. They have a nice job, they have a nice house, kids, a nice car. But when they come to me and they're so sad, when we work together, I don't know how to put it. It's like a flower. It's like they bloom.
Yep.
It's like they come into their own, and they take what we do, and they go off with it, and it's wonderful. Yes. I mean, I still get emails. It's been years since I've worked with some people. They still contact me and say, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and I think it's fantastic.
It's really life-changing.
It is.
Yeah. So. I think that so many people think of their sexuality or their sex life as being an extra, like it's out there and that comes later if everything else is okay in your life. And in holistic medicine, and when you start looking at the whole person and the whole being, which is what we're really trying to shift away from, just focusing on health indicators and instead seeing whole wellness as a circle, as everything from not just your sleep and energy, but your sense of joy, your gratitude, your sense of abundance, and yes, your vitality and your sexuality is a piece of that. So I'm interested in these conversations I'm finding myself in that are trying to reposition that vitality and sexuality at the core, at the center, from which everything else grows out, not something out on the periphery that you get around to if everything else in your life is perfect.
Well, one thing people don't get is life doesn't come to you from the outside and heal the inside.
Right.
You have to heal the inside, and then it branches out to the outside.
Absolutely.
But we're taught with media and Hollywood and all what. Yeah. Not that I don't love the media in Hollywood, mind you.
Sure.
That it's the outside world that we need to concentrate on, and everything will turn out just fine.
Right.
When that's not the case, we have to concentrate on ourselves, and it's not selfish.
No.
Some people might think. Yeah. And like that inner spark, and everything just seems to fall into place once you do that.
Yeah. So take me as an example. Say I've found my way to you, and I know that something is missing. And through your intuitive connection to me, you have an idea that this piece is missing in my life, that I've maybe been over-focusing on my job or maybe on my family. Or can you give us an example of some steps that you would walk me through to beginning to awaken and begin this blossoming process?
Well, first of all, I would have you write down what you think is missing. What do you think is missing out of your life?
Yeah.
And just brainstorm. I mean, no one's going to see the list but me, and don't judge it. I just look down. So whether you're missing a big house, money, lots of sex, affection from your husband, it doesn't matter. So you write it down, and you send me the list at some point in time before our next meeting. Yeah. When the next meeting happens, we talk about it a bit, and we try to pinpoint what exactly is the feeling that they're missing behind these items. Because people will mark down items. Usually, and material items, something they can touch.
Right.
And myself, and the client, we will pinpoint those items down to the feeling.
Yeah.
What feeling are they missing? What emotion? What oomph is missing from their life? And then we take that kernel that we discover, whatever it may be, whether it's happiness, security, liberty.
Right.
And we take that, and then we build upon that. So if, say, they're missing love, for instance, I would give you exercise. First of all, I'll give you energy exercises to help open up your heart chakra. Because if you're missing love in your life, your heart chakra, which is, of course, is located right in the middle of your chest, there you go, is usually blocked up. A lot of it's cold. You need a chisel and a hammer to get through there. So there have been quite a few people, and they can't understand why they're missing that love, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
So I work with them with energy exercises to remove that block. Nice. Not only to remove the block in the front, but to move the block through. Yeah. Because you're gunked up inside, and the back chakra, which a lot of people forget about.
Yeah.
And then through those energy exercises, I have them keep a journal. Once their heart chakra is opening up, what are they feeling? What kind of thoughts are they experiencing? Where is that going to take you as a client? And then we work from that point. Where are you at now? Okay. And then from that, the next time we meet, I come up with more exercises, whether it's energy exercises or getting rid of things in the house that no longer suit your purpose, or going to meet new people, joining a group. It all depends on the person, but each time we meet, I give you brand new steps. So
it's a very unique, individualized approach that
correct.
helps people kind of step outside their comfort zone and begin to reach towards the whole self that they want to be.
Yeah, a lot of people's comfort zone is this little
Yeah.
this little box,
Yeah.
and they completely ignore the whole outside world.
Yeah.
So I try to get them okay with themselves, and then they branch out.
What I love, I'm so excited to hear. We create apps for people to help them see themselves better. And I love that what you're saying is that your inquiry process starts first with them getting aware of what they're wanting. That awareness piece, I think, is so key, whether we're talking about, well, any type of life transformation we're talking about, or abundance practice. Just going out and doing without first pausing to be aware of the current landscape, I think, is a mistake a lot of people make. And then the second thing that I'm so excited to hear you say is that your next step is about the feelings. And I think that, people who were introduced to so many of these transformational or abundance terms through The Secret or whatever often thought that it all happened up here. You had to think really hard, you had to intend really hard, you had to even some of the somatic stuff like making a board, it was still very much mind driven. Right. And I'm loving that we're beginning to see the shift of dropping into the feelings, not just how you actually feel right now, but how you want to feel, and how putting yourself in a position to feel the way you want to feel more often is what allows that to grow.
Exactly.
So I was talking through this with someone, and they were mentioning that if you're really wanting to feel joy, but you feel sad all the time, well, where do you feel joy? Do that just a little bit a day, and then try to do just a little bit more. So it sounds like it's similar.
What makes you happy? What flips that switch, so to speak? Me would be like my cats, like we burn behind me.
Yes.
I love my aunt, and of course my kid, but he's not here I can't point to him right now.
Yeah, we can point to the kitty.
We'll point to the kitty, but he is 13, so we'll just leave it at that.
Hey, I have one too. 13. Oh goodness.
What an age.
Tell you.
But if someone would ask me years ago what it would be, I would have pointed to my son and my animals, because that's what gave me the best, all my joy back then.
Yeah. In
2007. And then I'll build upon that, and, eventually maybe ice cream for a short period of time would bring me joy, depending, and So that's an excellent way to look at it.
Well, yeah, and as you find places where you experience joy on building them, then you begin to experience that shift where you can find the joy in almost anything you're doing. And that's the really magical sweet spot.
It's the pivot. I call it a nice pivot, because no matter what you're faced with, no matter what it is, there's two sides to it. Yes. There's this you're looking at that's very troubling to you, whatever it may be. Yes. But on the flip side, there's the joy. You have to pivot your point of view and look at it.
I love that. So is there anything going on at your business that we should know about? I remember talk of a book, and I'm wondering, what you're working on.
Yeah, well, my Out-of-Body Ecstasy book just came out on Amazon. It's available both in paperback and Kindle version.
Congratulations!
So, thank you. I'm very excited about that.
That's great.
And now I'm writing, and I jumped into book number 6 now. Wow. Now I'm writing, it's called Soulful Connections.
Wonderful.
And it's about all the different, my soul tribe that I'm connected to, and who they are, and how I connected, and how you can connect to yours.
Awesome. So. Well, I can't wait to see it. We'll keep looking for it, and you let us know when it's out so we can share it with the tribe.
Thank you very much. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, so in closing, I always love to ask if you had one technique or one thing that you thought everybody could do. So it's not about having money to do it or having like the perfect life to do it, but something that you think could make a difference in anybody's life to help with the kind of transformational work you do. What would that one thing be?
Believe it or not, I would probably say the pivot that I just talked about. Because if you think about it, everything has two sides.
Yes.
And there is a good side to everything.
Yes.
No matter how tragic or sad the situation is in front of you, there is that flip side where something joyful comes out of it. There's joy in everything. You just have to switch your perception and the way you look at it.
I love that.
Say.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for your time today. It was great finally connecting. Great to be living room to living room with you. And I look forward to when we talk again soon.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah, congratulations again on your book.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.